Shalom Labachayim Shal Yasha'Allah. Peace be to the election of the nation of Israel, consisting of the 144,000 Hanabiyayim, the prophets, 12,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel, which are all men. Of course, 12 tribes of Israel being the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, and the Israelite foreigners that have been scattered, dispersed throughout the nations by the way of their father, going back to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which we just determined by the Spirit. All right. And try the Spirit by the Spirit where they're the children of the power. Of course, want to give a shalom to the rest of the 1/3, which are no prophets but are believers in the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that shall have that the Wah, which is the mark of exemption from the coming judgment. All right. And of course, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Well, peace and salutation to the elect again. Much blessings to you, and of course, comfort and protection to the election, and much wisdom. You're going to definitely have to walk within wisdom. Okay, as the recent news here in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia being a county within Pennsylvania, yesterday they announced new restrictions. Reinstitute restrictions on the whole lockdown that we have here, which we're entering the second wave of this pandemic and such. Okay, and just to bring up some of the different restrictions. And this is off of Inquirer. PA toughens quarantine. Oh, this is actually new, which is probably what I'm about to play in the video. And let me see if I can get another wee link too, because this affects a lot of things, and yet to see what's going to happen with the camp. A lot of, at the beginning of the pandemic, we ended up doing streams from inside indoors due to lockdown measures, and then I believe we then ventured out to a park out there in West Philly. All right, and we still do go to the park, and we went to the city a couple times, but during this whole pandemic, those days of the word being out there and the chief place of concourse, that's becoming a thing of the past, and the feminine word is therefore going to be upon us, or it is upon us. It's going to be in effect very soon. So let me see if I can find these different restrictions. It should be on there, phila.gov, if I'm not mistaken, or Philadelphia. Yes, I could try phila.gov. I wanted to make this a very short video, but going to the Spirit at this time, which it will, Yahweh Ratazah, be short. Okay, Philadelphia.gov. Let's see if did they put it up. Okay, the 16th, Philadelphia announces new safer at home restrictions. I'm not sure if that's it. It might not mention it, but I think it does. Yeah, it does. So you hear in these restrictions, I believe they go effectively on Friday this week. It is November the 17th, 2020, year prophecy. So of course they're talking the same things in which they spoke about before, about flattening the curve, or flattening the curve. Pardon me. And to prevent, of course, the whole surge of influx of potential infected people, okay, so that they can overwhelm the healthcare system, okay. And we know how that went with the different various hospitals, okay. And visually with my own eyes, I didn't see that. All right. And of course, many people can agree and attest to that too. It says that they have these new, as it says, safer at home restrictions as effective on November the 20th through January 1st, 2021. So new restrictions. So you thought that you were going to have a return to normalcy. Well, this is your new norm. And as things continue to progress, things are going to get tighter and tighter in the name of combating the pandemic. Okay, as these physicians of no value are telling you. Okay, with this science falsely so called. Okay, Yahweh righteous I will get them precepts too. It says businesses with questions about how to comply with these can contact, of course, the Department of Commerce and Business Services, because this is going to ground certain businesses which were able to reopen. I believe with a particular gym with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I seen, they had their lockdown closure lifted was sometime, I believe, in let me see if I gotta go back and check. If I'm not mistaken, maybe July, if I'm not mistaken, but I have to go and check. But this has, of course, grounded a lot of activity. Of course, what do you do to your different various members whom were able to access the gym due to the government under their health guidelines telling you can't kind of operate because you're risking spread this as they say, a disease. It says here that as I'm speaking, gyms and indoor exercise group classes may continue outdoors, and a lot of the different gyms, they've moved outdoors and such. They were set up different we socially distance routines and such, but I've definitely seen those who've been defiant against this and even have lawsuits up. Hold up 1 second, Slakia. All right, pardon me. Yeah, there's people that being gym owners that being, of course, defiant in this whole thing. Now, say if your business can't you do that meaning outdoor groups and such, that leaves you out of business. Okay, bowling alleys, arcades, these are the following business activities that are no allowed. You got schools, college must move to online instruction only, so your virtual thing. All right, with exception to clinical instruction for students in health sciences. Okay, of course. Okay, that's hands-on. It says indoor dining at restaurants and other food services and business. So no name more of that. Eating indoor, which I have to get the dates and everything. Here in Philadelphia, they only just recently reinstituted that at a 50% capacity, I believe it was it 25 to and then 50% capacity for eating within of course indoors. You had it where the actual mayor was caught in another state. I believe he was in Maryland or something like that. Jim Kenney was caught eating while, of course, there's his own, as you say, his own his own city wasn't able to eat indoors, and of course that PR wise that made him look, of course, as a hypocrite, because these people are hypocrites indeed. Okay, they play by different rules, and Yahweh Ratazah, I can show that in another video as well in the United Kingdom with Boris Johnson, and even him and another either another government official were in a photograph, and no socially distance, when I think he recently something with the whole the disease at this time, okay, coined by them, and he's so-called, I gotta check his status and stuff, but they issued these rules, but he wasn't in compliant, and I believe the actual newscaster actually was questioned, put on scrutiny, and the guy got caught in his words that I believe their health secretary, I gotta get his name, I know his name starts with an M, Matt, and it's like Haman or something like that, but I gotta go back and check. But yeah, these people are hypocrites. It says theaters and movie theaters, that's closed. You have, of course, with the theaters and movie theaters, many of the different places were closed and granted. And then I recently was getting like notifications on my email, and it was saying about how you can rent a whole theater, for just hundreds of dollars, either for a small group. Of course, you follow in their different rules and such for the theater watching during this whole disease pandemic, or yeah, that's it. So that was it. And the whole these movie theaters, they all these different businesses have been suffering. Museums, okay, bowling alleys, arcade, game spaces, libraries, that's closed. They've been closed. I mean, I haven't really seen a return of a library. Senior day services, okay, and of course they put different other all indoor gatherings and events involving people more than one household are prohibited. So they're talking about you can't even get and mix households and such. So you with friends, that's an N and E's dystopian. All right. It says private space. It says in public or private spaces. So, I mean, if somebody actually followed this would make people go bonkers. Okay. This is why this is a very bitter place, America, indeed. And it's definitely living up to its name in these times, the end times especially. All right. So, there's other different various, guidelines, which, Yahweh Ratazah will do in another lesson, Yahweh Ratazah. But the real lesson, what I wanted to cover is this video. And by the way, the information that you're receiving from this person here is of the whole alphabet community, all right, openly, of course. And of course, we know what the scriptures speak about, with man wearing what as it says in Deuteronomy, not wearing what pertains to the opposite sex. All right, but we got that going on. But hey, this is Babylon. This is confusion. Okay, so this is the people, of course, whom we have to, of course, follow the rules by. All right, this is the accepted norm. Okay, in which they, of course, put out, their philosophies and such. Okay, so as the scriptures say, it says, well, that give us the bottle to them that they may look upon as nakedness and such. Ratazah, get that too. I'm just quoting a lot because I'm just in the spirit. But I'm gonna play this video. Of course, Salak, of course, we're lagging. Just get the information. All right.
As you know, in Pennsylvania, we continue to see the number of new COVID-19 cases rising.
Manipulate it.
Our percent positivity rising. Our hospitalizations rising, as well as the number of Pennsylvanians critically ill due to COVID-19 in intensive care units rising. In order to help stop the spread of COVID-19 in Pennsylvania, we are taking targeted and strategic actions. I have issued an order requiring anyone who visits Pennsylvania from another state to get tested within 72 hours before entering the state. They need a...
Whoa, so even if you visit from a whole nother state into Pennsylvania, it's talking about you gotta get a test. Let's go on. And I mean, this is domestic travel we're talking here. Okay, and domestic travel we're talking here. Okay, and you have it for international travel. So a lot of these different countries, they require you to take a test, okay, to prove and be negative. All right, and even you have to go on quarantine for a period of time. I believe a 2-week period of time. Okay, like I know, yeah, and that's international. But a lot of that's even being changed. How right I'm gonna go into that, man, because it's just like things is changing very rapidly. Yahweh Shem Yahshua is definitely moving quick in this captivity. All right, being America. All right, and the days are definitely being shortened because we can see how fast nowhere, and you see all these different restrictions just getting piled on you, and it's like a normal. Okay, we'll just do a press conference and tell you, hey, if you're coming in the PA, you gotta get a test. Okay, here.
Negative test within 72 hours before entering the state. If you do not have your test results,
so you're supposed to get a test before even entering this state. Okay. So who does that work with? Different people that's working, okay, and driving, and this is a bunch of confusion. I'm just gonna let it play.
Results when you come to Pennsylvania, then you need to quarantine.
And wait, I want to go back on that too, because it said, if she said it had to be negative, let me go on. Which it's actually he, okay, if you can get it. All right, he said, but hey,
until you get a negative test result. When indoors, masks will now be required anytime you're with
until
people.
You get a negative result.
Now be required anytime you're with people outside.
Let's go. Let me go on that.
When indoors, masks will now
let
be
me go back.
in Pennsylvania. Then you need to quarantine until you get a negative test result. When indoors, masks will now be...
So I'm assuming if you come in and you got positive, then they talking about, then you got quarantine, and then, like, say if you want to come in, you say like, all right, say for example, right, I want to come into PA, so then I take a test, right, 72 hours before I want to go in, but if it's positive, I will have to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks, and then come get and have a negative, be able to produce a negative result. That's of course going by science. Okay, there's with that whole test that they do, the common test. There's a whole thing within that, but I'm gonna withhold that speaking on it right now. So I get all my information together, and even with that, I have to be subtitled because, of course, it's censorship. But yeah, I mean, you just come in and you can't just freely travel, and that's in the prophecy. All right, the scriptures, which I'm gonna get. Let me keep going.
Now be required anytime you're with people outside of your household.
Gotta wear a mask,
even if you are socially distant, more than 6 feet apart.
Right. So you got, but I can show you even in UK. um with Boris Johnson and this other person and question to ease, they didn't have a bloody mask on, and then upon the person, the newscaster asking them about why they are no having their mask on, the man that the health secretary ended up saying, well, they're properly socially distanced and there's different rules for within. I think they were talking about within was it forget Building 10 or whatever over there, and where they live out there, and man, I gotta go into it, Slakia, but it's just all hypocrisy. Okay, mask wearing. Let's keep going.
This applies to every indoor facility.
She don't even have a mask on. Okay, or as you heard earlier, because you can hear from the voice. All right.
Such as schools, gyms, doctors' offices, public transportation, anywhere food is prepared, packaged, or served. As you have heard me say almost daily, this virus has certainly taught us that we are all interconnected, and it is our collective responsibility to protect our communities and our most vulnerable Pennsylvanians from COVID-19. This has not changed. These strategic and targeted actions are an important start to protecting our communities.
Start, right? So this isn't the finish of it. Okay, and this reflects as this person actually ended up stating in another video, what she says is all vetted by the governor, and governor orders, even though Donald Trump says that he placed this whole response in the different various states' hands to handle it accordingly, and we know that those strings are still getting pushed by a globalist agenda. All right, it's not a coincidence that we're all in these different places are all going into a so-called second wave, and we're all, of course, are getting these different lockdown orders. And even on top of that, of course, even though they saying these things are coming into play are going effective Friday until the end of this year, or January the 1st, 2021, and we know that with Biden, he believes in a fuel lockdown, which ultimately of course, like Bill Gates and all that, that's what they, of course, suggest. Okay. So I'm just going to get to the precepts and go from there. Since I quoted too about science, should be in the New Testament. Lord, let me hold up. I'm just gonna go to Blue Letter. Slakia. I ain't meaning for this to be so long, but I believe it's in Timothy's. All right, yeah. So that's it. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 20. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust." All right, which of course, hearing all the different things which your ordinances was given. All right, from of course, Yahweh Shem Shai. You're of course Paul, Timothy. All right, and that of course going in that order. All right. Of course, you had of course the disciples. All right, which became apostles. Okay, and followed what? They followed the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right. So it says, "O keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings." Okay, so we're supposed to avoid profane, was that was outside the temple. All right, outside of the words Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and vain, empty, shawah, babblings, which we're gonna go into that, which is this is the word kinophonia, which is empty discussion of vain and useless matters, empty sounding. All right, and I mean, look, if this is lifeless speaking, all right, which we hear in this, of course, in this, these different things, these unrighteous decrees, draconian measures, and such. Okay, because I mean, like they said, there's no life in it. Okay, this is sucking away any form of freedoms which you thought you had. Okay. It says in oppositions, but this is Babylon. It says oppositions of science falsely so called. All right, so we're supposed to avoid that. Okay, and of course, as us being men of the Lord, being followers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay, and we don't have the spirit of fear. Okay, and we of course walk in wisdom, and let of course that guide our footsteps. Let Yahweh Shem Yahshai guide our footsteps. And you definitely gonna have to have the spirit to deal with you, of course, to walk in these times that we're of course in and approaching quickly. Okay, as more and more tighter restrictions, and really ultimately the RFID microchip is made mandatory. Even before that, they have of course the jab that's coming. All right, which they're gonna make that mandate that. Okay, and that's their answer, all right, their response to this disease. Okay, and I've seen Scotland, they went into tier 4 lockdown, which closed all different pubs and such. I believe different salons, I believe they're grounded too, and other businesses and such. And a lot of them was I'm gonna do a video Yahweh on it. They were hoping that things didn't go to that, but even still it did. And of course that left a lot of these businesses to close permanently. Okay, and that's the time we're in. We're a time of loss. Okay. Okay, of different things. Okay, and we have to of course accept that in these times, us being men of the Lord, or of course the women that there too that follow in the faith as well, you're gonna lose of course different comforts which you had here in Babylon, and you have to be able to walk accordingly to the spirit. Okay, because we know that as Habakkuk tell you, all right, Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it tells you about the spirit that's within E. All right, which says here, it says Habakkuk chapter 2, and even starting at 3, man, just reading it. It says, "For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely come and it will not tarry." And things are no tarrying. I mean, like I say, overnight, things are getting more eerie. Okay, and it's gonna get really eerie. All right, famine, all of that pestilence. Okay, more than what you even seen. And there's word of a 23, a 22, and 21, and 20. Okay, of the so-called what of course you see this whole thing has this whole disease of the day is, or of the year. Okay, which the 17th November, I must remind you, is the time when they, again, I believe the first case, so-called, probably I believe in China, was published, if I'm not mistaken. You can look that information up. I believe the brother in the camp, Zayan, he mentioned that to me in a post. But it says here, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So, we know that the spirit that's in E is not upright. I mean, E always missing the mark, sinning. All right. Of course, by taking the words of Yahweh Shem Mashai to him. All right. Even though they're not, of course, the people of Yahweh Shem Mashai, they're the wicked. All right. The spirit within them is not upright. All right. But the just shall live by faith. And, we walk by faith and not by sight. So, of course, we're going to see a lot of things. Like you say, I'm seeing these different things. And I'm like, all right, if you're telling me, you have a different state, they got their rules. And, what if you kind of course, produce the different credentials and such, what they want. Because that's what, there's going to be passports and such. Okay, they already been, of course, testing that internationally with the flights. Okay, I have to do another lesson on that. Okay, with these different passes on the apps, on the application on your phone. That's going to be, your means of having to prove that you're no ill, okay? Or when was your last test? When were you last receiving that jab? Okay, received it. We need to know you're safe. Okay? Let's go on. It says, also because he transgresses by wine, philosophy, he is a proud man, neither he keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire shall wall as death, as hell, and as the grave, and as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, heap it unto him all people. And it's crazy too, because here in Babylon you got all these different people, and then it's gonna be crazy because, like I say, a lot of people are gonna be trapped in these cities. Okay, which that's the other precept which I got the spirit, which is the book. I believe that's in the book of Isaiah, 2nd Ezra, either the 15th or 16th chapter, which Yahweh says I'll find it. Which I'm gonna start here with this one. It says Egypt shall mourn, which is America shall mourn, and the foundations of it, the 2nd Ezra 15 and 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. All right. It says, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein. Going down to the point, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay. So, of course, this is prophecy where, it's already setting it up with the rules, all there. Okay, if you have to produce a negative test result, have that, and of course present that. Okay, when this is going to be enforced. Okay, right now, of course, they're just showing you it now and such. It's yet to see how they're gonna enforce it. Because I could even mention the police, they don't follow these rules. Okay, wear masks or anything. Here, the Philly police, they do it. All right, and I've already seen that in the beginning, at the earliest stages of the pandemic, back in that'll be back in March, April. Okay, I've seen that, where people they didn't even know about this whole disease. Okay, so yeah, you you see what it is. Okay, this is gonna be the book of. Actually, I got several precepts I wanted to bring out. Because like I say, you're gonna have to, in these times, you're gonna have to have a lot of faith, because, imagine you kind of you're trapped in the city, and you need to get out. Well, you're gonna have to believe in faith that the Lord is gonna deliver you out of that city, or get you to where you're going to go through divine intervention, spiritual power. All right, so this is Matthew chapter 17 and 20. And Yahweh Shai said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have the faith of a grain of mustard seed, Ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So that's what the days that you're gonna have to, the days we're in, where it requires, of course, faith. And that's a gift that Yahweh Hashem Yahshai gave unto the elect. Okay, nothing shall be impossible, but you have to have faith. All right, to activate. That faith, a little wee bit of faith. All right, I remember, hearing something like that back. Oh, ye of little faith. I believe that was back when I was in the world, though. Some you got these different post-hardcore bands in there. They take a Christian stance, but we know, of course, that these people really don't believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, the real true power, Yahweh Shem Shai. But yeah, I remember that, somebody screaming, ye of little faith. And always, of course, I remember that, But you got to have faith in these times, all right? That's the point, all right? This is Matthew chapter 19 and 26. But Yahweh Shai beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with the power of the Most High, all things are possible. So all things are possible. All things are achievable. All right, because just imagine just choke points, things that you may take the test, you may have the jab, you may have the chip, so you're pretty much off grid. Well, how are you gonna get bit? About Yahweh Shai is gonna guide you. Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna guide you. Of course, the angels, okay, the spirit. All right, as you tell you, of course, in the book of Second Esdras, in the next chapter, they tell you that the Most High shall be thy guide, and the guide of them that keep His commandments. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, this is here. It says this Second Esdras 16:68. For behold, a burning wrath is of a great multitude is kindled over you. All right, and that's of the wicked, the sword of the Most High. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols in the concentration camps. You being put there in the concentration camp, which is going to be a test of your integrity. The Lord is going to come through and deliver His elect. And if you were to die, you be faithful unto the death. The Lord going to give you that crown of life. All right, we have to hold fast what we have. It's truth. All right. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be hot in derision and a reproach and trodden under foot. It says, for there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon them, those that fear the Lord. And we see that. And we're seeing that being, of course, coming to a boil anew. And soon it's going to spill over. Okay? It's going to be all over the kitchen. On the kitchen floor, or all over the stove, and all crazy. But only this. Just imagine it being all hot oil, and that oil hitting the flame, and fire started, and it's uncontrollable, and it spreads all over the house. It says, and they shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay? Let's go down to the point what I wanted. This is Second Esdras 16 and 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. Right. But I will deliver you from the same. Let me see if I got this other one. This is, I think it's in Psalms 22, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, this is Psalms 22 and verse... Man, that's crazy right there. That's a good precept right there, too. See that? So many. Yeah, this is Psalms 22:11. It says, "Be not far from me, for trouble is near." All right, that trouble that's near is the full fruition of Jacob's trouble, for there is none help. Yeah, none. No, you have your government. They're none gonna help you, assist you. They're actually being the ones that bring this hell, this condition of difficulty onto you. All right, bringing all these chains overnight. So it's good to, of course, as it tell you in the scriptures, you got to be circumspect. You have to be vigilant, because we know that the devil is going about, seeking whom he may devour. And the devil is Esau, Edom, the wicked. All right. It says here in the next scripture, I'm going to go back to the second Ezra. It says, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the power is your guide." Right, so we ain't supposed to be afraid nor doubt, because I just sit there and contemplate. I'm like, yo, this sounds crazy. You gotta have a test, and you seen it even in on the highways and such. If you're coming, I remember with the whole New York, if you visitors from New York area, they and all these other areas with these higher rates and such, they were pretty much told not to even travel. And also even if you were to visit those states and such, they're talking about you have to quarantine. I'm like, how do I quarantine in a state which I'm no native of? I'm gonna quarantine my car. That's like open-ended. Okay. They're gonna take you away. That's what it's gonna be. It's a future thing. At least from the perspective I'm talking about in prophecy. Maybe someone already experienced it on their own. They can tell me, but I know, like, therefore, like, say for example, when restrictions were a bit more lax, which is still harsh. I believe if you were to go to travel, say like Scotland, you would have to, quarantine in your hotel for that 2 weeks time. But what if you kind of stay out 2 weeks? You know what I mean? You're pretty much discouraged to travel, and that's the times we're in, where the mirth is being dried up and such. Okay, so that's pretty much the lesson right there to the spirit. These times ain't no joke. It's not a joke at all. Things are moving so fast. So, we see already a lot of the different censorship on the different various health officials and insiders that been speaking about the different ingredients of the whole solution to this whole problem, which they want to put in your arm. All right, and it's supposed to be the solution to you being able to go back to normalcy. But we know that these things are harmful. All right, very harmful, and a lot of people are gonna see mawath. What's mawath? The word is death. By these things, but they tell you that many gonna be taken in great number in these times. So it all has to be achieved. The Lord and His words, and they come back unto Him void. They have to accomplish what they put out to do. So call all you like Yahweh Shem Hashabashim Kokodash, double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutation to the elect. All right, prepare, of course, for more of your comforts to be taken away, and prepare for that hour of temptation. All right, and prepare to lose. All right, shalom.